What's up y'all, my name is FinestXI, and in this video I want to talk about a couple of weapons that can really help you get into the game even if you start later in the wipe cycle when everyone else already has endgame gear. There are a few prerequisites before you can get access to these heavy hitting weapons, but we're going to talk about that right now. So as you may or may not know, Tarkov is currently run on wipe cycles. Every 6 or so months, it seems the game resets and everyone starts over at level 1. Then you play and progress for the next 6 months until the cycle repeats. The thing is, if you start 3 months late, you are still level 1 while everyone else is as far as they've gotten in 3 months. There's no matchmaking based on MMR or level, so you're literally thrown in with some of the most experienced players around. I don't want you to get discouraged though, because we all went through this at one point and came out on top, and I know you can too. This guide is here to try and give you some tips on how you can deal with this seemingly massive disadvantage. So first things first, you will need to hit level 10. The reason is because that's when the flea market opens up and you have access to pretty much any gun in the game for the right price. Try to treat level 1 through 10 as a learning experience, because that's when you're going to have a ton on your plate, and succeeding in these early levels really most of the time isn't feasible. You need to learn the mechanics of the game as well as the maps. I encourage you to fight and claw your way up through these levels because it will get easier once you hit level 10. I did make a video on the best level 1 gun, so please check that out if you need that info. Links are down below. In that video, all the guns I talk about are available to you right when you first launch the game, no strings attached, so I think it could really help a lot of you out. Once you hit level 10, the only other thing necessary is to stop by twitch.tv/finestxi and hit that follow button. We have a wonderful community of welcoming, experienced Tarkov players, and we'd love for you to come have some fun with us. Also like and subscribe now to receive good luck on your next raid. Anyways, once you hit level 10 and gain access to the flea market, we can purchase some stuff that's going to let us directly compete with the highest geared players. The first budget gun you gain access to is the classic Vepr Hunter. Everyone despised this thing when it first came out because they were so mad at the fact that you could spend so little on it and take down people who spent 10 times more. It always has been and probably always will be the ultimate Chad killer. Search up the Vepr Hunter on the flea and pick one up. They were about 30k when I bought mine, and most of the time they do come with one internal mag, so check for that. You can sight it if you want by attaching the Cobra sight or OKP sight, but honestly the iron sights aren't bad and it just saves you some money. Next part is up to you with how much you want to spend, but I'd recommend at least 3 5-round mags at about 7 to 10k a piece. Last thing we need is the M80 ammo. I am not exaggerating when I say that this is the best value bullet in all of Tarkov. When you gain access to it through traders, you can pick it up for about $2 a round. It's one of the most destructive bullets in the game, and I have no idea why it's so cheap, but I don't mind. Buying it off the flea will cost you a little more, but honestly not much. I could get these from anywhere between 2 to 800 rubles a bullet depending on the time of day. Keep in mind you don't need a ton of these, so it really won't cost you too much. If at any point you may be thinking, wow, this guy really expects me to have money, what a joke. I did make a money guide that I think is perfect for newer players that has a really high success rate, so check it out if you need it. I'll also link that down below. The thing I do need to mention here is that these prices are dependent on the time of wipe. Right out of the gate, this stuff is not cheap or accessible through the flea, so you really shouldn't expect to get these deals early on. However, early on in the wipe, everyone is way less geared, so you really don't need such powerful weapons. As time goes on, players get stronger and the flea gets cheaper. If prices aren't exactly the same when you see this video, please keep that in mind. Anyways, that's the first budget weapon. I was able to pick up my gun, 3 mags, and 20 rounds of ammo for just under 50k. It can one-tap most low-geared players and only takes a few more shots to take down the higher-geared ones. I will warn you, you need to be careful and have some trigger discipline with this gun, seeing as how the 5-round mags won't last you long. Try to pick your shots carefully and avoid spraying with this, as it will most likely get you killed. A few good taps with this gun and you'll be taking your enemy down. The second budget Chad stopper I want to show you guys is a bit of a newcomer that I wouldn't have dared to even mention in previous wipes. Lately we've seen shotguns get a huge buff and now they're deadlier than ever. Head on over to the flea and pick up a 4-round MP153 shotgun. This is the semi-auto one that can fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. You won't be able to sight it yet, as you can only buy the mount attachment from traders. Spend the bulk of the cost on some AP20 rounds. Now people usually debate on what's better, slugs or buckshot. If you don't know, the difference is slugs are a single projectile while buckshot ammo will shoot out multiple pellets in a spread. Buckshot certainly has its perks, and honestly even with cheap rounds you could destroy people. Buckshot is usually better when hitting unarmored areas like legs or face. Even a few pellets to the face can kill an enemy, so I'm not going to knock buckshot here, and I definitely recommend trying it out, but I love the AP-20 slugs because even if you hit armor, it's still really deadly. Plus, you can get away with shooting at range due to the accuracy of slugs. Like the previous M80 bullet, the AP-20 will one-tap low-geared players through the chest. It can take upwards of 5 to 6 shots to take down the highest level armor, but in my experience, it usually doesn't take that many because some of your shots will hit flesh and do massive damage, and of course, one shot to the head will put them down no matter what. Again, the shotgun here has a 4-round internal mag, so be careful. You'll need to actually level up your traders a bit to be able to buy a bigger capacity internal mag. Pro tip, take out the internal mag in your inventory and drag bullets into it to load your shotty before the raid. You can also just load it like normal as soon as you get into a raid, but just don't forget to actually do that so when you see an enemy and pull the trigger, you don't hear a click. I've done this and I know you will too. This gun plus 20 rounds ran me 56,000. Still a great price for something that can one-tap chests of other players wearing up to level 4 armor. These two guns are cheap and effective. There's a ton of good options out there that all get the job done, but I think these weapons in particular really help bridge the gap between high gear and low gear players. If you have your own good ideas for budget weapons or ammo, comment them down below. I want this guide to be helpful to newer players, so I'd love to get other experienced players' input. That's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to come stop by the Twitch stream sometime and hang out with the amazing community we have over there. I can't wait to meet y'all. Like and sub to support the YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next one.